Crystal clinked. Cameras flashed. A ballroom full of donors watched a young black woman step toward a table of 4. She wore a simple black dress, low heels, a badge that read Naomi Blake. She reached for a folded program on the edge of their linen. "Leave that," the son said. "Staff cleans after dessert." The daughter laughed. "She wants a selfie," she whispered to her mother. The father looked past Naomi like she was part of the wall. "Security," he said without raising his voice. "This area is for the Whitfield donors." Naomi kept her hands at her sides. Calm face, clear eyes. She spoke in a tone that held the floor without force. "I'm here for the speech. I helped write the plan. Before we go further, if you're watching our video for the first time, you are highly welcome. Please mention in the comments section below which part of the country you're watching from. The next story is a shocking story you will never want to miss." "Thank you." The mother turned her back. "Get her out," she said to a guard. The guard hesitated. He had seen this scene before. He looked at Naomi's badge again. He knew that name. He had typed it on the guest list himself. Naomi did not argue. She raised her phone. She pressed record. "Say it clear," she said. "You want me removed?" The son smirked. "Yes. Go." "Do you feel the old heat rise in your throat?" Rejection in public. Power used like a tap. Watch till the end. Don't forget to subscribe. Across the room, a loud bell tone cut the air. A stagehand tested the mic. The host called for quiet. The night's main donor would speak in 60 seconds. A hush fell. The Whitfield sat. Naomi stepped back from their table, steady and slow. The host smiled at the crowd. "We thank the Whitfields for their family leadership," she said. "We thank the Blakes for the matching pledge." The son frowned. "Blake who?" "Samuel Blake," the host said, "chair of Blake Ventures. His daughter, Naomi, co-authored our equity plan." The son's face drained. The mother's hand shook. The father stared at his napkin. The daughter's laugh fell to the floor like a dropped pin. Naomi walked to the side stairs. She did not look at them again. She held her phone at her hip. She kept the clip safe. She kept her breath even. Backstage, a staffer handed her a folded card. "Your father wants you on stage," she said. "Now." Naomi stepped into the lights. Her father stood at the podium. Tall, gray at the temples, dark suit, no smile. He looked at her first, then at the crowd. "Before we speak about money," he said, "we speak about respect. My daughter will speak first." Naomi took the mic. She did not drag the room. She did not hide it either. "I stood at a table and was treated like a prop," she said. "I recorded it, not to shame, to show the gap between the values printed on the program and the behavior at the table. We cannot fund a mask. We fund the work or we walk." The Whitfields sat like statues. The board shifted in their chairs. Staff on the back wall held their breath. Samuel Blake stepped forward. He placed one hand on the side of the podium. "The Blake pledge pauses," he said. "Effective now." The room gasped. "Do not click away. Watch till the end. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles. Like, share, and comment so this lesson travels." The next morning, Naomi sat at a long table with a legal pad and cold coffee. She wrote without flourish. Public pledge on hold. Conditions for release. 7 lines. No exceptions. She listed them out. Pay audit for every partner. Report demographics by role and pay band. Board seats for workers and community. Harassment policy with teeth. Vendor rules. No cover companies. Scholarships and paid internships. A public forum every quarter. She sent the draft to council. She sent it to the board chair. She sent it to her father with one line. "This is the floor." Her father called. "I stand on it," he said. "Make it public at noon." The Whitfields held a call in a bright kitchen. Their faces tight. Their voices low and controlled. They used words like optics and nuisance. They said Naomi's name with a practiced shrug. They told themselves the storm would pass. It did not pass. Their own staff sent messages to the hotline Naomi had set in motion last year. Stories lined up. Meetings without chairs for junior staff. Jokes near elevators. Cold shoulders in rooms where decisions lived. No slurs. No slaps. The kind of harm that eats a person in slow bites. Naomi did not post rage. She shared the 7 lines. She showed the clip only to the board. She asked for a hearing with staff present. The board chair took 2 days to answer. We will hold a session, she wrote. Whitfield's request, counsel present. Naomi replied, fine. We bring workers. At the hearing, the Whitfields sat side by side. Father, mother, son, daughter. White faces set like plaster. Across from them stood cooks, cleaners, coordinators, and one quiet guard. Faces from each floor. Names with no plaques on the wall. They did not spit. They did not shake. They told the truth like a ledger. The son rolled his eyes. The daughter smiled without warmth. The mother tapped a pen. The father stared at the window. Then a coordinator named Jill lifted a copy of the 7 lines. I want this, she said. I want on the door. Naomi looked at the board chair. So do I, she said. The chair folded her hands. We will vote, she said. Tomorrow. Naomi walked out past the Whitfields without looking at them. The guard who had hesitated last night stepped forward and spoke low. They used to say nobody would stand up for us, he said. You did. At dawn, an email hit the board chair's inbox. A private fund tied to the Whitfields threatened to pull support if the 7 lines passed. The chair read it twice. Then she called Samuel Blake. If this moved you, stay with the story. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles. Share with one person who needs proof over spin. Tell us the line you would add to those 7. The boardroom felt colder than the hallway. The chair called the roll. The motion to adopt the 7 lines went on the table. Hands went up. Hands stayed down. The count sat at a tie. The chair looked to Samuel Blake. He sat apart from the board but carried the weight in the room. He spoke without flourish. We do not buy respect, he said. We require it. The Blake pledge ends if these lines do not pass today. The Whitfield son smirked. You need us too, he said. You matched our pledge. Samuel turned his head. No, he said. We matched the promise to serve. Not your name. The daughter leaned forward. You think you scare us. Naomi stood. She did not raise her voice. I am not here to scare you, she said. I am here to make this house match its brochure. The chair called the vote again. One hand moved. The tie broke. The 7 lines passed. The Whitfield mother stared at the ceiling. The father stared at Naomi for the first time like he might be trying to see a person. The son spoke through his teeth. You will regret this. Naomi wrote one word on her pad. No. The board issued a statement that afternoon. The 7 lines became policy. The forum date went on the site. Pay bands would publish by quarter. Vendors would sign or leave. An email address opened for interns paid, not for exposure. The Whitfields called their lawyer again. He advised calm. He advised patience. He advised them to keep quiet for a week. They lasted one day. The son leaked a story that dragged Naomi's name. It did not land. Staff responded with their own names. They signed a letter that read simple and sharp. We work here. We serve the mission. We stand with the 7 lines. The son doubled down. He posted a clip. He thought it showed Naomi rude. It showed her calm while he told a guard to remove her from a table that was not his to police. The board chair called the Whitfields to a private session. Step back, she said. For a year. They refused. Samuel walked to the mic at a press event. He looked straight into the cameras. The Blake pledge is canceled, he said. Funds go to partners who signed the 7 lines today. The room erupted. Do not stop now. Watch to the end. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles. Like and share so people can learn from this. Money moved, not as a threat, as a test. Partners in 3 cities signed the 7 lines in a week. Staff in those houses posted the rules on real walls, not in slide decks. 2 men who cracked jokes in hallways took training they called beneath them. They left. New hires came in with clear eyes and clear contracts. The Whitfields tried to rally donors. Some followed. Many did not. People who watched the clip knew what they had seen. Polite disrespect is still disrespect. It costs lives and hours. It costs careers. It steals the air in a room. Naomi did not gloat. She built. She worked with the chair to set up the public forum. The room filled with workers in clean shirts and worn shoes. A translator stood at the side for 2 languages. A sign by the door read 3 lines in plain font. We greet with respect. We verify with care. We repair with speed. No brand slogans. No hashtags. Rules that fit on a door. A young woman asked the first question. What if a supervisor breaks this? She said. Who do we call who will call us back? Naomi answered with a number on a card. This is staffed and paid, she said. No one buries your report. An older man asked about pay steps. The chair showed the band chart. No mystery, she said. You move up when your work changes, not when someone likes you. A guard asked about who stands with him when a donor orders him to remove a person who belongs in the room. The chair answered fast. We do, she said. We back you when you follow policy. It is in writing. It is in your file. That night, Naomi sat alone for 1 minute in the empty hall. She thought of the laugh at the table. She thought of the clip at her phone. She thought of the guard's face when he said thank you in the hallway. She let the weight pass through and out. The next morning, Samuel handed her a thin envelope. Inside sat no check, no praise. One line. Take the lead on the equity desk. It is yours. She nodded. I will not waste it, she said. The Whitfields faced fallout. Not a flame. A slow, steady loss of rooms. Board seats paused. Speaking slots gone. A vendor stepped away. A school rescinded a panel slot. They wrote a letter that named misunderstanding and tone. It did not land. Later, they wrote a second letter that named learning and repair. They asked for training with staff, not apart from them. They offered payments to a worker fund with no naming rights. It was a start. It did not erase. It did not need to. Naomi stood at a high school auditorium 6 months later. She told this story to students in plain sentences. No grand words. She showed the 7 lines on a screen. She handed printouts. She asked them to carry the rules into their first jobs. A girl in the front row raised her hand and said, My mother cleans offices at night. I'm taking this home. Naomi smiled. Good, she said. Put on the fridge. You want the last image? See this. A boardroom with the shades open. A wall with pay bands posted. A staffer on lunch break reading a book by a window with no fear about who walks by. A guard telling a donor no without risking his rent. A young intern paid on time. A number that answers. A meeting where Naomi speaks and nobody calls her girl. That is the win, not the press release. The rules on the door. The names on the raised list. The breath in a chest that does not clamp down when a certain voice enters the room. Stay with this win. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles. Like, share, and comment so these 7 lines live in more rooms.